Well, boys, these brand new BBK lower control arms are not getting installed. Part of this situation right here, tools everywhere, is due to the fact that this is the first time I've done this, but in doing it, as soon as I tried to remove the chassis side lower control arm bolt and both my Harbor Freight impact and this Craftsman impact, immediately got hemmed up. Granted, I had to put this knuckle on there to get it up in that little area there. Of course, I had a wrench on the other side. I had to remove my exhaust to get a wrench in there because the muffler is so close. The bolt's not moving. So I'm not doing them because diamond blades and sawzalls and cut-off wheels, I just read on StangNet and Corral just post after post after post of dudes talking about it took me all weekend, I got several nights into this. This is just, I mean, it's not happening. I don't need lower control arms that bad. These things can stay. Apparently the sleeve, the bolt gets rusted to the sleeve. And I mean, this car is not even, this is a southern car. There's no rust down here, you know what I mean? But I guess it happens regardless. So I'd hate to struggle to get this bolt out only to find out that this bolt isn't coming out either, because this one, from what I can understand, is the first video that popped up was some dude with a GT in Massachusetts talking about how he used a cutoff wheel to cut this side off, then used the nut to pull the bolt through the other side after letting it soak and penetrate in oil all night. And then who knows what I'm in for with that side. So this is just one of those jobs where I'm just going to have to say, you know what, maybe I'll find some hero out there with a shop and a lift that, you know, tells me he'll get it done, no problem, blah, 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 gives me a price, and, you know, let him fight with it. So we'll see. But other than that, I'm just going to put the springs back in it, and hopefully we'll get the front done today. I bought some caliper paint for what it's worth. Try to make those calipers look a little bit better, some new metallic pads, and yeah, these springs, what a difference. I'll show you what, this is the Eibach Sportline. Beautiful day too, I got lucky. But again, a lot of work, man. All that work just to find out I'm not going to do it. I'm going to put all that shit back. Look at the difference, bro. This thing is going to be low as shit. So, I hope this works. Alright, update. I wiped the shocks down so they look new. But, as you guys know, I didn't replace those. I didn't replace the quad shocks. I realized I should have just spent the money and done that, but whatever. Maybe I'll do it when I find some hero to do the lower control arms. The springs are in. The sway bar is back in. Both sides are done. I'm ready to button up the exhaust again and lower it down. I'm a little nervous, I gotta admit. These 18's are big, and that spring is a lot smaller than the original, so we shall see. When I put my rim on, you'll notice on this side the plastic boot is missing. When I put my rim on, I noticed the quad shock was hitting, which it wasn't hitting before. And, you know, when I flipped it, they weren't hitting. So I cut the plastic piece off, thinking, okay, maybe that's it. It's still hitting. It's hitting because the springs. I have a little bit of tension on the rear end right now, just a little bit, just to make sure the springs don't fall out. So my theory is, and I did go ahead and put in the new pinion snubber. I don't know if you can see it up in there. I painted the bracket flat black and just put it in, right? So, because Eibach recommended that. Well, yeah, so I'm hitting my wheel, which is pissing me off. And it's because I imagine the springs are that much lower. Whereas before, this was more at this kind of an angle and wasn't hitting the wheel, but now it's hitting the wheel, being it's at more of an angle. I don't know how to explain it, I guess. That's my theory anyway, is before it was like this with the springs being so tall, and now it's more like this and it's hitting. But even then, I feel like, no, it would hit either way. I mean, the wheel is round, but I don't know. I feel like at this point, I don't want to leave my car on these jack stands. The subframe connectors aren't in. I kind of just want to maybe bolt on the wheel, even though it's hitting, just see if I can get it bolted on, and then maybe set it down and see what happens. Oh, that's the other thing. You'll notice there's no tailpipe in there. I fought with that piece of shit tailpipe for an hour and a half, 2 hours, banging, and I mean, it was to the point where I'm like, all right, why am I even bothering doing this? Because I don't plan on using these tailpipes anyway. I was going to get the Flowmaster ones. I don't like these big goofy tips. And of course, this one's all dilapidated and bent, but needless to say, I realized that I'm wasting my time because the tailpipe is so pinched from being installed that I can't get it to slide over the muffler side. I just can't get it. It's got such a pinch in it that I would need to go get one of those tailpipe stretches that, those things. I guess I just learned about them. They stretch tailpipes or stretch exhaust pipes. I'd need to go rent one from wherever or buy one from Harbor Freight. And then I'm like, you know what, screw it. I ain't buying shit because it sucks because those tailpipes are good and those tips are good, but I just don't like them, man. I just don't like them. I don't like the bolt-on tips. I'd rather have the clean 2.5-inch Flowmaster with the polished ends. So I didn't even put on the tailpipe on that side, which I feel totally defeated at this point. I really do. But yeah, I hate having my car. I mean, even though it does look all right, I just hate having my car like this, man. I really do. So I kind of want to just bolt the wheels on and set it down and see if the quad shocks hit. And if they do, they do. I mean, I guess there's no other option but to remove them, unless there's somebody out there that makes a smaller quad shock, I don't know. But yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I got some boxes to cut up, those stupid trees to trim because I'm tired of walking into them. And I'm losing light, and I had to get organized, man. I really did. This is all the shit. I mean, this is the the Vortex Supercharger. This is just all the shit that I've amassed over the last few weeks. I had to put it all in one spot, kind of. The subframe connectors are over there. I'm really bummed out about the lower control arms, but like I said, I mean, what am I going to do? I'll just have to talk to a couple mechanics, local guys, and see if one of them is like, oh yeah, dude, I'll get them things in, no problem. I've been doing that shit for years. So I was all excited. I even went and bought caliper paint. Where is it? I was going to paint calipers for the first time. I didn't plan on doing anything crazy, I just figured why not? Just put a little paint on there. Bought that this morning. That ain't happening. Sunday. Gotta work in the morning. You know the drill. But I cleaned up. This floor is nice because you can vacuum it and then just basically come up to the top here and turn around with the air hose and just... That takes care of that. Oh, and by the way, don't buy these bullshit ass painted black. I mean, if you're like me and you're a bit OCD, this shit's bullshit, dude. Look at the paint flaking off already. I need to buy the black anodized, not the black painted. Again, the ad should say, as soon as you install them, they're going to look like shit. You know what I mean? So those will get replaced at some point. But I guess the good news is the system's done. I even got the mic for the Bluetooth mounted. Seats are partially mounted. I didn't mount the rears only because I realized that the bolts that, the factory bolts aren't long enough for those BBK subframe connectors. And the BBK subframe connectors came with a box of bolts that are labeled exhaust bolts. It's like an exhaust bolt kit. 2 billion washers and a bunch, 4-inch bolts, right? None of them, and they're sleeved bolts, so none of them would work for the seats. So you got to go, score your own seat bolts. So I'm going to have to I didn't put them in all the way in the rears on each side. I'll just go ahead and pull them out, bring one down to the hardware store and see if I can find one that's about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch tall, longer. Because, yeah, that needs to go all the way through the floor so I can put a nut on it to put those in there. And that's where I'm at, man. I didn't make any other progress other than recharging that stock battery for the 50 millionth time, because I don't want to put strain on that Optima until I'm actually running this thing. Man, you know, sometimes it's just like defeated, dude. Today's one of them days where I had visions of seeing this thing sitting in the rear, even though I'm actually a little worried about how low it's going to sit. I didn't want to have to roll those fenders, but if I do, I do. No, it is what it is, man. If I crack paint, I crack paint. I'll try to do the best I can, even though I've never done that before, to not crack paint. But the car's going to get repainted at some point anyway, so it is what it is. I just don't know how low it's going to sit, man. Those springs are really small in comparison to the stock ones. And I thought the stock ones might actually be Ford Motorsport Lauren springs, but there's no way they were. I had to take my quad shocks out. I threw them in the trash, kept the bolts. They were junk anyway. They were 30 years old. Shafts are all rusted and crusted. Look like they've been underwater for 30 years. So if I do find a way to keep them, I'll just buy new ones. But she's sitting right, man. She's definitely sitting right. I'm happy with that. Front's sitting high, of course. Yeah, that's where we're at. It's definitely where we're at. And the interior, I'm not going to bolt up the door sills or the why am I drawing a blank? You guys are like, dude, I know. I'm not gonna put them in yet. It's been a long day. It's been a long weekend, guys. Because I want to know. I had to run one of the power wires for the amps partial alongside of some RCAs, even though I wire loomed it. And you could get engine noise, so I'm hoping I don't. I just don't want to run into that problem and have everything buttoned up and have to take it all apart. So I want to drive it first before, I want to drive it first. So that's why that's not buttoned up, but the rest of the interior is buttoned up. I just posted to Foxbody addicts the other night, and I'm really pumped with what everybody said. They kind of motivated the shit out of me, even though I'm not totally pumped about the color of the seats. It was motivating to hear everybody say how clean it looked, because man, it's a lot of work. Those are all new door pins. I ordered that kit from LMR. You don't need to order 2. I ordered 2. It comes with enough for bolt doors. I didn't realize that. I'm a dummy. I ordered 2 of them. But whatever, I got a whole extra pack now. But yeah, it was necessary, man, because that door went back on nicely, and just it's locked in there in really good shape. The only thing I'm bummed out about is, I don't know if these are aftermarket or if they're original, but they whatever cleaner they used on them at some point kind of wore away the white. You can see how it's kind of like pulled right there, So who knows? Maybe I'll replace those, but that's some OCD shit. And I still got a lot of OCD shit. Like this on the other side is not tight for whatever reason. I don't know how that is adhered to the back of this, but on the other side it's just kind of loose. So, but I'm happy with the way the radio came out, the head unit install, the GPS. I'm hoping they can find a way to tint around that. I don't like the fact that it's like white. You can see the tape, but what are you gonna do? But yeah, I'm really happy with the way it came out. I decided to mount the USB, the extra, because the head unit had 2 extra USB wires hanging from it. So I just kind of zip tied them and figured I'd keep them in there for now. And I put them in that little notch, right up that little notch in the back of the glove box. So there's that. And then if you come around to this side, I mounted the mic right there for now. Just for now. I don't even know if I'll need the damn thing, but it came with it, and I don't know enough about the head unit yet to know. So that's where I mounted it. And again, no door sills, because I may have to reroute wires, and I don't want to pull all that shit back apart if I have to. Man, this shit's a lot of work, boys. It really is. But you guys already know that shit. I'll just be glad when I'm driving it. But yeah, so that's the Eibach Sportlines, and that's where it's sitting right now, which is a hell of a, at least 3/4 of an inch lower than it was before, maybe an inch. At least. Which apparently was enough to cause an issue with the quad shocks. And the door sills, the door panels weren't painted. And of course the dash was, so you can see the difference, you know, slightly. And a lot the lighting plays a big factor, but you can see the difference. It sucks, man, but it's only for guys that have like super OCD like me. Most people would never notice it. Alright boys, I just took them out of the package. They look good, welds look fine. Everything looks great. You guys all know what these look like. So I got the cat back with the 44s, I guess they are. One thing I noticed is the way this bracket is mounted versus how that bracket is mounted. I'm going to assume maybe that is done that way because the way it needs to sit on that side. Also, that pipe has a, I don't know, almost looks like a bend in it, but yeah, so I guess they both kind of do. I don't know. But yeah, I guess we'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm not the first guy to do this setup, so that's for sure. The one thing I'm disappointed in, though, is that Flowmaster says on their videos, on their YouTube videos, that they supply band clamps with all their sets. Maybe they're referring to complete, you know, head or back sets. I don't know, but that is this horseshoe bullshit. This is part of the reason why I'm getting rid of the, you know, I got rid of the setup that's on it. When I took the tailpipes off it originally to do the rear end suspension, I couldn't even slip them back in because these clamps destroyed the pipe so much. And after some research, I found that I should have been using band clamps for the last 20-something years because they're awesome. And those damn things are cheap as shit, and they just ruin your exhaust system and make it difficult to put back together. So, if any of you guys are interested, I'm going to wrap this video up soon, man. The mosquitoes are already out, and I'm already soaked in sweat just from standing out here. That's how hot it is. Of course, I'm wearing jeans, and so this setup is like what? Those look like 3-inch tips, stainless tips with, they do have T-bar clamps on them, and then the tailpipes, 2.5-inch tailpipes, $75. And pretty soon, whatever those mufflers are that are on there, I'm assuming they're like, I read that there's some company called Jones or Jones mufflers. They kind of look like Flowmasters, but they have no brand name on them. Alright boys, what them videos don't show you, most of the ones we've seen, is that this is an absolute pain in the ass. It is such a slow and tedious process of dicking around with this tool and then realizing that the tool will not give you enough forward pressure this way without bottoming out down there and the nut coming off. It's just a pain in the ass. I mean, I've been on this for, I don't know, 2 hours, 3 hours now. And I've made progress, don't get me wrong. I've definitely made progress, but the mark right there, that was there. But between having to heat it, dick around with the tool, lose some of your heat, and having to reheat it once you get the tool where you want it. And this is a fender that hasn't been done, so you can see clearly that we've made progress, but man, is it a pain in the ass. So yeah, good luck with this.